loses a close, tough fight to Terence Crawford. I don't know.
But he's gotten older. He's grown out of the division.
Who?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, so is Terence Crawford.
You can't make the weight.
But so is Terence Crawford. I picked Terence Crawford because he started 135. Floyd started 130. He turned pro. He's 130 pounds.
I mean, Max really has earned the right to an opinion. And his current opinion is that Terence Crawford is the greatest of all time. Now, I will tell you, Max is a fan. I can relate to this. I got in there and I did the sport, and there are times that there is a credibility that will come along with me for having done the sport. But I'm the same as Max. I'm a fan.
Good Crawford is, you know what I mean? Especially being, 38? Something like that, yeah, 38. So listen, to do what he done in the manner he did it, moving up 2 weights, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, one of the greatest to do it.
Sports analyst Max Kellerman discusses the highly awaited matchup between Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford, emphasizing how their careers have followed very different routes. According to Kellerman, Mayweather built his undefeated record by strategically choosing opponents, a move that secured his victories but also drew criticism from fans. In contrast, Crawford has built his reputation by taking on all challengers, never backing away from tough fights. Kellerman expresses greater admiration for Crawford's fearless attitude and willingness to face anyone, suggesting that this fighting spirit gives him an advantage.
It's wild because, if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time.
Oh, yes.
That makes a difference to people.
Kellerman has often questioned whether Floyd Mayweather truly deserves the top spot in the pound-for-pound rankings. While he acknowledges Mayweather's exceptional technical skill, Kellerman argues that his achievements alone don't necessarily make him the greatest of all time. He highlights Terence Crawford as an example, noting that, like Manny Pacquiao, Crawford has captured titles in multiple weight divisions. Pacquiao earned his reputation by moving up through the weight classes and defeating top opponents along the way, and Kellerman sees Crawford following a similar path. This, he suggests, shows that greatness isn't defined by an unblemished record, but by the courage to take risks and face the toughest competition across divisions.
No one has ever been a 4-division champion in boxing. Not a real one. Oh, Pacquiao won 8 and Oscar De La Hoya won 11 and this one won 15. No, I'm talking about Ring Magazine champ or lineal champ. You are the champion of that division. Manny Pacquiao was the first dude to really win 4. Floyd gets credit for 4 for beating Canelo, but that wasn't at the junior middleweight limit. I don't count that. I don't count that. Terence Crawford just joined Manny Pacquiao as the only legit 4-division champion in the history of boxing.
Kellerman has also pointed out that Mayweather was very cautious in managing his career to protect his undefeated record. He notes that Floyd often chose opponents who were past their prime or not particularly challenging, making his fights strategically easier. Early in his career, Mayweather earned praise for his defensive skills and boxing intelligence. Over time, however, he appeared to favor more lucrative bouts over truly difficult ones. Critics argued that his perfect record became more of a business strategy than a measure of his standing as the world's best. Kellerman suggests that while Mayweather was undeniably talented, the way he selected opponents diminished the value of his undefeated record, as fans tend to admire fighters who face real challenges rather than carefully engineered matchups.
Floyd was fighting everyone right up until the point where he started to make money. But as much credit as you get for making, the primacy of business, for making business your priority, well, that comes with trade-offs. Because when you make business decisions constantly, sometimes your athletic achievements won't be regarded in the same way as if you made athletic achievements your priority. That said, Mayweather has accomplished a tremendous amount athletically. But the 3 fighters he didn't fight, Antonio Margarito, Manny Pacquiao, when he was obliterating De La Hoya, Hatton, and Cotto, and Shane Mosley when he still has something left. And while he will wind up fighting Pacquiao and Mosley, it'll both be, at the right time for Floyd. That said, what about at the right time for Floyd? He's also ancient. A fighter approaching 40, fighting at the level Mayweather is fighting, is unheard of. Mayweather, until recent times, would be considered one of the greatest older fighters of that would be the whole story. Oh my God, can you believe how old Mayweather is? It was a little bit unfair to Floyd. Say, well, you're picking these guys at the right time. Floyd is old.
Kellerman faced criticism from fans and commentators when he suggested that Terence Crawford could be the best pound-for-pound fighter of all time. Some argued that Kellerman was moving too quickly in elevating Crawford, pointing out that the boxer still had much to prove. However, veteran UFC fighter Chael Sonnen defended Kellerman's right to voice his opinion. Sonnen emphasized that both experts and fans are entitled to make bold statements when they genuinely believe in them. He noted that Kellerman's perspective shouldn't be dismissed as biased, but rather consider the insight of someone who has closely followed the evolution of boxing over many years. In this way, Sonnen highlighted the healthy debate within combat sports, where differing viewpoints spark discussions about who truly deserves the title of the greatest.
And Max really has earned the right to an opinion. And his current opinion is that Terence Crawford is the greatest of all time. Now, I will tell you, Max is a fan. I can relate to this. I got in there and I did the sport, and there are times that there is a credibility that will come along with me for having done the sport. But I'm the same as Max. I'm a fan. I stopped off and had a career doing it, but I started as a fan during my time in that career, and now I'm a fan. And Max was a little heavy on Canelo. Now, when I say it was a little heavy, it just surprised me as such an expert, as a guy that knows everything. I mean, Max knows the amateurs. He knows what Usyk did in the Olympic Games and the World Championships and the Golden Gloves before that, and he knows everybody else as well. I was a little surprised, if I'm being fair, at how much he thought Canelo was a great fighter. That part did surprise me. But just because Canelo has been beat doesn't mean he's not. It's interesting. Canelo's had some really hard fights, and by the way, he's had a lot of them. There's not usually a time in boxing where a guy can have anything but a 0 in his loss column, and the guy can still get over. Not only was that not the case, Canelo was valued just dollar and cents at 10 times more valuable than Crawford. Oh, by the way, Crawford is the only one that showed up with an undefeated record. And I must admit, some of those losses that Canelo had seem like the kind of thing that would really slow a guy down.
Fans and analysts have reacted with a mix of excitement and skepticism to Terence Crawford's potential path toward becoming the undisputed middleweight champion. Crawford has already defeated Canelo Alvarez, widely regarded as one of the biggest names in modern boxing, showing that sheer size and strength aren't enough to stop him. Many commentators believe that by beating such a high-profile opponent, Crawford has already faced the sport's most marketable and dominant figure. Yet his ambition to claim the 160-pound division demonstrates his desire to challenge himself even further. If he succeeds, Crawford would reach uncharted territory and cement his reputation as a fighter who constantly strives for greatness, making him truly one of a kind.
Anti-climaxing for him to drop back down because you already reached the height. You already slayed the giant. And essentially that's what Terence Crawford has already done. He slayed the giant, okay? Anything else he can do is going to be anti-climaxing. Nobody else he can fight. Canelo Alvarez has 63 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout. Canelo Alvarez is the face, or was the face, of the sport of boxing. Right? And you defeated him and outclassed him. Everybody expected you to get knocked out. It was a money grab. It wasn't realistic. And you achieved it. Right? There's nothing else you can do but one thing. And as I stated, you can put your crown so high on the pedestal, it's almost impossible to reach. And I stated that becoming undisputed in another glamour division in 2 fights because it really doesn't matter who Terence Crawford fights at this point in time. There is no name that's going to garner him the traction and attention that he got from fighting Canelo. If he fights Jaron Ennis, it's not going to do it. Virgil Ortiz, not going to do it. None of those guys, anybody would put against Canelo Alvarez and say that they would beat Canelo Alvarez. So now he would be expected to beat everybody. Okay? Sebastian Fundora, the Towering Inferno, because of the size difference, he's 6'6", 80 plus inch arm reach, right? At fighting at 154 pounds, that would be attractive.
When discussing the greatest of all time, Kellerman challenges the notion that Mayweather automatically deserves that title. He argues that Floyd never took the kind of daring risks that define legendary fighters. While Mayweather's technical skills are undeniable, Kellerman believes true greatness requires more than excellent defense and financial success. Icons like Muhammad Ali and Roberto Duran built their legacies by consistently facing the toughest opponents, regardless of circumstances. According to Kellerman, Mayweather lacked that fearless approach. Instead, he admires fighters like Terence Crawford, who repeatedly prove themselves against strong competition rather than relying on carefully managed matchups.
Rocky Marciano was 49-0 before Floyd got to 50-0. He was a heavyweight champ. Did anyone ever consider Rocky Marciano the GOAT? No, not seriously, no. Why would Floyd be considered the GOAT? Because he beat more fighters than Rocky did, more great ones? That's true. But really, Floyd was careful in the way he selected opponents. Don't get that twist. It's not that Floyd didn't fight a lot of great fighters. He did. It's not that I don't think he would have beaten a lot of the tougher fighters than he fought. I think he probably would have, but he didn't do it. He waited. He waited till Pacquiao wasn't at his best anymore. He didn't fight Margarito when Margarito was tearing everyone up. He waited for the right time to fight people. He got paid twice as much for fighting Pacquiao in a less dangerous fight than he would have had he fought him when everyone wanted to see him fight. Floyd is among the all-time greats, but he ain't number one.
British boxer Hamza Shiraz has praised Terence Crawford for the way he has built his career. He highlighted Crawford's unique path, which combines achieving excellence with a relentless willingness to face every major challenger. Shiraz described it as inspiring to watch a fighter rise to championship level with such precision and apparent ease. For him, Crawford's story is meaningful not just because of the victories, but also for the message it conveys. True greatness comes from confronting your toughest challenges head-on rather than avoiding them. In this way, Shiraz reflects the views of many athletes and boxing fans who regard Crawford's career as one of the most impressive in the sport.
Whack, like I was saying it, oh mate, I had it totally wrong. But it just goes to show how good Crawford is, you know what I mean? Especially being 38? Something like that, yeah, 38. So listen, to do what he done in the manner he did it, moving up 2 weights, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, one of the greatest to do it, one of the greatest to set foot in it. You know what, it was an honour to watch himself and Canelo live ringside. So the outcome of it wasn't ideal, because if Canelo won, I would have been in line next, which is still the case, but just delayed a little bit. And I suppose it all depends what Crawford wants to do.
I saw a post from Umar actually, who put out before the fight, said, I really want my boy Hamza to win, but I think that Crawford will win. And I think a lot of people kind of possibly have seen that sentiment of they want him to win for you, but at the same time, a few people I spoke to picked Crawford to win.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it was a split of opinions, wasn't it? It was very, very divided. But then straight away, when the first bell went, and I see Crawford run to the centre, grab centre, you know he weren't there to fuck around, man. And he just bossed it. I think I'll give Canelo no more than 4 rounds. But then at the same time, you've got to put yourself in Canelo's shoes. He's achieved everything he's needed to do in the sport. He's earned more than enough money, and he's still daring to be great. So as a fighter, as a fan, we can only appreciate that.
One analyst has noted that Saudi Arabia's rising influence is reshaping the global boxing scene. Central to this shift is Turki Al-Shalik, who has organized some of the most high-profile fight cards in recent years. While the United States has traditionally been the hub for major bouts, Saudi Arabia is now hosting mega events that draw global attention. Many of these matches are unconventional or designed for entertainment, rather than strictly matching the best fighters against each other. Some critics argue that Al Shalik's strategy is intended not only to boost Saudi Arabia's sports profile, but also to challenge the American dominance in boxing. By repeatedly bringing top athletes and major draws to the country, he is gradually shifting the sport's center of gravity. Fans enjoy the spectacle, but concerns remain that the competitive integrity of boxing could be compromised by financial motivations. These events are visually impressive and athletically exciting. Yet the key question is whether the sport's future will be dictated by who can pay the most rather than by what is best for boxing itself. This raises an important debate. Is boxing evolving, or is it losing its core identity?
And I had been telling you that he was not coming to America with that. For that, he is coming to take boxing to Saudi Arabia. He is not trying to help boxing in America. He is trying to help boxing in Saudi Arabia. And in order to help boxing in Saudi Arabia, he has to do damage to American boxing, because American boxing is the mecca of boxing right now, and he wants to change where the mecca is. So when he backed Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, I did a video and I said, we know what this is going to be. This is going to be them trying to get this fight over for Canelo Alvarez. And then after that, Turki Al-Sheikh wants to take Canelo Alvarez to Saudi Arabia so he can fight Hamad Shiraz. And Hamad Shiraz can be the one to beat Canelo Alvarez and become the undisputed champion. And that was the end game that Turki Al-Sheikh had. So let's now talk about the fight that was necessary for Canelo to win in order for Turki's plans to come off. Terence Crawford had to lose to Canelo Alvarez. In the fight itself, as I have witnessed and many people have witnessed, that was not a close fight. That was a fight in which Terence Crawford won, and won convincingly. The fight was probably close up until around round 4 or 5, at which point in time Terence Crawford pulled out and pulled away and dominated that fight. Many experts, including myself, say that Terence Crawford won all but maybe 2 rounds. And there are some people that said that they didn't think Canelo won any rounds convincing.
Terence Crawford's victory over Canelo Alvarez sent shockwaves through the boxing world and marked a defining moment in his career. This win not only strengthened his resume, but also reportedly earned him a substantial financial reward, rumored to be in the hundreds of millions. Analysts noted that Crawford reached a rare point where his skill and earnings were perfectly aligned. After such a high-profile victory, discussions quickly turned to his next move, since he had already defeated one of the sport's biggest names. Many saw this as confirmation of what Kellerman and others had long argued. Crawford's reputation isn't something that needs to be carefully managed. It's built on confronting the toughest challenges available. The respect he has earned by proving himself against elite opponents carries more weight than financial gain, cementing his place among the all-time greats.